Why hello again YouTube. Today, HTC 8X, Samsung Galaxy S3, arguably the two flagships for either platform, Android and Windows Phone 8. Just shooting this straight off the bat of my Galaxy Nexus Android 4.2 video. Sorry. Yeah, anyway, what I'm going to do for this one is put it in 2 parts, possibly 3 parts. Might even do more than that. I might sort of do like a 10-minute section on browser comparison, 10-minute section on apps, store, settings, etc. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I've just decided. So there'll probably be 5 or 6, maybe more videos, probably about 8 to 10 minutes long each. Quite like, it's sort of like really in depth about the two devices and how they stack up against each other. So first of all, we'll talk about the specs of either two. We'll start with the HTC 8X. On the screen front we have a 4.3 inch 1280 by 720 display, which is 720p HD. It's a Super LCD 2 display, made by, I think it's made by HTC, it might be made by Sony or LG possibly, but it's a very, very good display. 342 pixels per inch, compared with the Samsung Galaxy S3. Sorry, hang on. Sorry, carry on. Yeah, yeah, on the Galaxy S3 we have a 4.8 inch display, 0.5 inches larger than the 8X. Again, 1280 by 720, and the pixel density, I think, and I'm not 100% sure, I think is 312. It might be a bit higher than that, but I know it's definitely lower than this, obviously, and I think it's a few lower than the iPhone 4S and 5 and 4, etc. Two different types of screen as well. We have an LCD2, I said that, Super LCD2 here, and we have a Super AMOLED HD here. Not technically HD because the Samsung Galaxy S3 uses a pentile arrangement, and this doesn't. If you don't know what pentile is, you can Google that. I'll try and explain it very quickly for you. Basically, pentile means, so let's say, actually, in an LCD screen, you have a typical RGB layout of subpixels. You have 3 subpixels for every pixel. You have a red, a green, and a blue subpixel. In a that's how it's laid out anyway. You have RGB, RGB, RGB. On a pentile display, you have RGBG. So you have 4. You don't have 4 subpixels. You have the same amount of subpixels, but they're laid out RGBG, RGBG. So you have 2 green, or sometimes it's RBGB, if you see what I mean. Sometimes it's more blue. Anyway, it's not as high resolution as this, technically. Anyway, they're both very good displays actually, but I'd say this is better. Carrying on with the specs, weight-wise, we have in the HTC 8X, it is 133 grams. 130 grams, sorry, and the Galaxy S3 is 133 grams. I'll take my case off it actually for this video, so you can actually get a good look at it. So 3 grams difference. You honestly, you can't tell the difference. Yeah. Let's move on to actual internal specs. On the Galaxy S3 we have a quad-core Exynos processor clocked at 1.4 GHz, and in the HTC 8X, or the 8X, the Windows Phone 8X by HTC as it's officially known, officially, we have a dual-core Snapdragon S4 processor clocked at 1.5 GHz. Both have a gigabyte of RAM. I know the LTE variant of the S3 has 2 gigs of RAM. The international variant has 1 gig, the same as the 8X. Memory-wise, the Galaxy S3 comes in 16, 32 and 64 gig storage capacity. I don't even know what I'm saying. Different formats of storage of 16, 32, 64. You also have an SD card slot with all 3 of them variants that you can add 64 gig into. So if you get the 64 gig internal with the 64 gig SD, you're looking at a very, very big amount of storage. On the other hand, the 8X only comes in 8 and 16 gigabytes, and the 8 gigabyte is only for Verizon, I believe. I think that's right. This is the 16 gig. That's as high as they go at the moment. Two different, obviously very different philosophies. of where storage should be going. I personally think that the SD card slot, phones should have an SD card slot, and if they don't have an SD card slot, they need at least 32 gigs of internal storage, because 16 gig, I'm running out on this already, and I haven't got that many songs. I've only got about 200 songs, but I take a few pictures and a couple of videos and stuff. It does run out rather quickly, which is a bit of a downer really. But you've got the cloud, but that's not really sufficient yet. SkyDrive's good, obviously. You get free uploads to SkyDrive here. I think you do there as well on the Galaxy S3. Anyway, cameras. Let's talk about front-facing cameras first. On the Galaxy S3, we have the front-facing camera is located in the top right. You can see it there. It is a 1.3 megapixel shooter, capable of 720p video. Whereas over here it's on the top left of the device, and it is probably the best front-facing camera of any phone, apart from the Droid DNA, which they've just announced for Verizon, the 1080p one. 1080p recording capable is 2.1 megapixels and 88-degree field of view, which, if you don't know what that looks like, I wasn't going to turn the device's screens on for this one. It's just going to be outside hardware, but I will show you so I can give you a quick comparison. Yes. Right, so let's just, if we change to the front facing view on the Galaxy S3, you can just about see the microphone. And if we do it, and you can see the camera's there and the camera's there, so they're only about 1.5 inches apart. So they're not much of a difference at all. And if I change to the front facing camera over here, which is that one, you can see how much more you get in. So if I put my hand up there, you can see my whole arm, pretty much my whole lower arm on the 8X, and just my sort of lower forearm and hand on the Galaxy S3. You can see how much bigger and better that is. Turn these back off for now. That's just a sneak peek of the screens. Carrying on with the hardware, the rear facing cameras, both 8 megapixel affairs, both with a single LED flash. HTC have got it on the left of the camera unit, and Galaxy S3 is on the right, well, not looking at it this way obviously. Both 8 megapixel. On the HTC X it's f2.0 lens, 28mm wide angle. Excuse me. On the Galaxy S3 it's a 2.4 f2.4 aperture, and a 20, I think it's a 32mm lens or 30mm, so it's a little bit lower. This is a better camera basically. Simple as. Both recording 1080p video, both very good. This, again, better than the Galaxy S3, but that's to be expected really. Speakers, we have the speaker placement on the Galaxy S3 is up next to the camera unit. It's fairly loud. It's quite good for a phone really. It does the job. You can see the little holes drilled there. It's okay. 8X, again, this is one of the things that makes it flagship in my opinion. The best speaker on any mobile device pretty much, any smartphone anyway. The Beats thing is pretty much a gimmick just for the actual, when you're listening on headphones, but that speaker has got an amplifier built in, and it does go very, very loud, and I'll show you that in another video, but it's very good. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a cough. What's up, doggy? What's the matter? Just sleeping. Okie dokie, we'll talk about construction. Plastic. Galaxy S3, you can take the back off, as you can see, pretty flimsy. It's quite durable, but it just feels a bit. When you first hold it in the hand, it feels quite nice, but then when you compare it to something like this, it's just, you can tell the difference in quality. On the front, obviously, you've got proximity sensors, you've got a menu button down here, and back button are both capacitive, and you've got a hardware button home key. On the right hand side you've got the power key. On the right, which is HTC, start doing this please. If there's one criticism I want of HTC, start putting your power buttons on the sides, there or there, because it's impossible on a phone this tall to reach that all the time. Top, 3.5mm headphone jack and microphone pickup. Left, volume rocker. Bottom, micro USB, and another microphone for noise cancellation. I've got 20 seconds of video left. Left side on the HTC X, flash. Bottom, microphone, micro USB. Right side, dedicated camera key. Thank you, Windows Phone. Volume rocker, SIM card, power button, headphone, microphone. I'm out of time. Au revoir.